First, the introduction. The report is taken from an article titled Understanding the Role of AI in Malaysian Higher Education Curricula and Analysis of Student Perception. So the objective of this report is to examine student perception of AI in Malaysian higher education. There are four major key factors in this report. First is the satisfaction, which is the most influential factor in AI adoption. Perceived utility, which is a strong influence that helps students to adopt tools that improve learning. Content quality and credibility, which is a weak factor compared to the other two. And the significance of the study is to address the research gap in Malaysian context. Data from the 5 public universities in Klang Valley and offers localized insight for policy makers and educators. This is based on the article. Okay.
So first is from the research design. Research design is a structured plan that guides how data is collected, analyzed, and interpreted to answer research questions accurately and effectively. In this research, we use both quantitative and qualitative methods to explore how AI is integrated into Malaysian education. With combining survey data, open-ended resource, case studies and literature review, this is to ensure accurate and meaningful findings in our research. In addition, research design, I will explain specifically about quantitative method and qualitative method. So for quantitative method, it involves measurement of outcomes using numerical data under standardized conditions. On the other hand, for qualitative, concern with narrative information under less structured condition that often takes the research context into account. So, in our research, we use descriptive methods, studies, and action research. So, for descriptive methods, we collected data from our survey through Google Forms. We distributed into the students and lecturers across university in Malaysia, and then we use case study method and action research to analyze and what we need to do with that problems and our. So we move to the sample techniques. The definition: sample techniques involve measurements of outcomes using numerical data under standardized conditions. So, based on the article we refer, both primary and secondary sources are used to gather the data. For example, qualitative and quantitative methods. After that, secondary sources are used to evaluate the data obtained from primary sources. So, we doesn't have critique the article because it uses both primary and secondary sources, so the outcomes will be precise and more accurate. After that, this is the most crucial part of the research methodology, which is 3.3 as data collection method. So, I like to briefly explain how the data for this research was collected. We use both primary and secondary sources to ensure the findings were accurate and well-rounded. For primary data, we distributed a Google form to students and lecturers across Malaysia to gather their experience, opinions and insights about the use of artificial intelligence in education. Same as I said before in 3.2. We also refer to secondary sources, such as published articles and journals, to understand the historical and theoretical background of AI in education. By combining these two methods, we were able to compare public perception with existing literature and gain deeper insight into both the challenge and opportunities of integrating AI into the Malaysian education system. This mixed method approach allows us to view the topic from multiple perspectives and strengthen the overall reliability of the research.
Next, for time frame and resource of our study. For data collection method, we did two methods. First is the questionnaire and second is the journal. Questionnaire is our primary sources and journal is our secondary sources. For the duration, we will use 3 weeks of our time to gather information that relate to our title, which is Artificial Intelligence in Education. And then we use 2 weeks to collect a survey from a respondent, which is from 150 students across the institution in Malaysia. And then for the outcome, from our information and our questionnaire, we are able to gather multiple sources to ensure data triangulation and improve the reliability. Also, statistical analysis also used to draw a meaningful conclusion, making it more accurate for us to do research on it.
So, in this section, I will outline the primary limitations that we have encountered in our research. First of all is the sample size itself. With only 150 students that answered our survey, it does not represent all the institutions and student groups across the sectors. Secondly is the issue of a response bias. With the data itself being self-reported, participants may have answered it in a socially desirable way or misinterpreted the answers of the question, thereby skewing the findings of our research. Thirdly is the evolution of the artificial intelligence itself. Students' perception may shift as new tools or policies emerges. Lastly is the result itself may have limited generalizability and short-term relevance considering all the limitations mentioned above. Moving on to the research methods and the data collected. First of all, we assume that any non-student responses likely originated from staff, alumni, or education professionals with links to AI in the education. Secondly, we also operated on the premise of the participants' honesty, that respondents answered in a truthful manner based on their personal experience with artificial intelligence in the learning environments. Thirdly, in consulting a secondary sources for our research, we assume that these materials were both credible and directly relevant to the Malaysian higher education context. And finally, these assumptions were crucial in supporting our interpretation of the data and also ensuring the alignment with our core research objective.
Okay, now moving on to the questionnaire, which is a primary method data collection, and this one for the question 4 and question 5. For question 4, most respondents indicated a strong familiarity with AI tools, with approximately 78% describing themselves as either very or extremely familiar with using such technology for educational purposes. Furthermore, for question 5, in terms of usage frequency, the findings show that 87% use AI tools either daily or weekly for academic tasks. This level of engagement suggests that AI has become an integral part of many students' academic routines. Okay, for question 6 and question 7, most students have a positive view of AI integration in Malaysia higher education. About 74% agree that the pace of AI adoption is appropriate, but only 60% feel they receive enough support from their institution, showing a gap in training and resources. Students see clear that benefits in using AI for academics. 87% says to improve learning efficiency, 83% want it to the curriculum, and 90% believe it save time. However, trust in AI content is mixed. Only 61% trust its accuracy and many still check the result manually or prefer educator review. Ethical concerns are also high. Around 90% worry about plagiarism and 72% feel about using AI can seem like cheating. While overall satisfaction with AI use is strong, students want clearer guidelines to ensure ethical and responsible use in education. Okay, for final question, which is question 8, this is a qualitative question and it seeks participant qualitative responses to what would make them trust or use AI tools more often, reveal several recurring themes. Many Many call for clearer ethical guidance, more accurate and curriculum-aligned content, and better explanation for features within AI tools. And some of them suggested that institutional endorsement or educator validation would enhance their trust, while other emphasizes the importance of step-by-step reasoning from AI tools and assurance of data privacy. This insight reinforced the idea that while the students are eager to use AI, they want the safeguard and transparency to be in place.
Right then, so we're moving on to the data collection from our chosen article. Okay, so the first point highlighted is readiness of educators and students in AI application in education. So Mustafa HBL 2022 stated that many educators still lack in necessary skills and knowledge to effectively use AI. So our current academic curricula should be updated and professional development should be focused on. Okay, so this argument was highlighted by Amin HBL and Saman HBL, where they stated that students were familiar with the tools like ChatGPT and Copilot, so that they can customizing their learning and widen their access to the learning material such as steps for interactive simulation based on their pace and interest. Okay, so the second point highlighted in the article was user perception of AI integration in education system. Okay, so according to Yusuf ETL, so he made a recent survey with student satisfaction as key factors of survey. So from 106 university students, most of them agreed that some AI tools like ChatGPT and Gemini are user-friendly and responsive. Okay, so Yusuf ETL also stated that students that use tools like ChatGPT and Gemini to study for upcoming exam were particularly can solve complex questions with assistance of AI in providing step-by-step explanation. Okay, so this argument also be supported by Talan ETL, where he highlighted that students preferably to learn at their own pace and personalize the studies material as AI as their tutor. Okay, last but not least, the point highlighted in the article was AI credibility and trustworthiness of its data. Okay, so according to our ATL, AI credibility is very important in terms of the accuracy of data with our academic standard. Galdamas also mentioned that ethical concerns such as data privacy and transparency should be addressed. Okay, so the use of AI like generative AI also bring concern when content creation becomes easier. So it does bring concern because of related to academic integrity and also deny the role of educators that supposedly monitor or comment in student work for improvement.
Okay, now for conclusion part. To conclude, AI is becoming an important tool in Malaysian higher education. Many students use it to improve learning and manage academic tasks more efficiently. Most review AI tools like ChatGPT and Gemini positively, especially for their ease of use and helpful features. However, there are still concerns about trust, plagiarism, and how AI should be used responsibly in academics. Our findings show that student satisfaction and the usefulness of AI are key to success in education. To ensure AI is used widely, there should be clear rules, proper guidance, and support from institutions. With the right balance, AI can improve the education system and prepare students for future challenges.
Alright, so the next part will be recommendation. Okay, so institution can conduct workshop for students to understand better on how AI works, so that it can be used efficiently and ethically. Next, proper training should be conducted for educators, so that they have some basic knowledge on AI and create better teaching plan to engage more students to participate in their class actively. Moreover, policies and guidelines such as plagiarism, transparency and AI credibility also should be monitored wisely, so that students can use it more ethically and be more responsible. Last but not least, more updated curriculum should be done so that align with the advancements of AI. Thus, students can prepare for real industrial career in future.